Welcome to this video. My name's Steve, I'm here at Wildwire, and we're talking today about the wonderful IDX floor from Blackstar. There are three modelers in the range. You can hopefully see them in the background there. We've got IDX floor 1, IDX floor 2, and I'm currently using the larger of the three, which is the IDX floor 3. They all have the same processing power, so don't worry about anything like that, but I'm going to run you through what this can do and how easy it is to dial things in. What I'm hoping with this product, being the product specialist from Blackstar, is that you can see this video and just see how easy it is to just sit down with it and create your own sounds. So within this clip, we're going to actually create a couple of sounds, which should be fun, right from scratch, so I can show you all the ins and outs of what you can do with this unit. We're also using the Artist FR standard, which is a full range flat response speaker cab from Blackstar. There are two models, one at 50 watts and one rated at 100 watts. They're both 1x12s. They have a bass port on the back, but they don't have a horn. So they're unlike the typical PA speaker in a guitar looking box. They're more of a guitar speaker that you're used to, but they're still full range. So we're using a whizzer cone, and what that means is if you can visualize the circular speaker, in the center of the speaker there's also another cone coming off, so we can really fine-tune that high-end sibilance that you need for full range. And these have been going down a storm, not only because of the sound but also the price. And I can say the same for the IDX floor. So we're going to dive in. One thing I'd like to point out to you is I've currently got my laptop set up with a free software package called Architect. You do not need it, all right? You do not need it to get going with this. I've just got it open so I can deep dive a little further and show you just some ins and outs of what you can actually do with the software. If you're computer savvy, great. Make sure you get the software, but if you're not, don't worry. You can actually use this unit and you don't really need a manual. That's the whole idea. So I'm going to give you an overview of the layout of this. So what we have is some controls at the top here that are basically laid out like an amp. So it's something you'll be very familiar with. There's a choice of 6 voicings. There's a gain, a volume, bass, middle, treble, and then finally at the end there you've got ISF. Blackstar's ISF stands for Infinite Shape Feature. It's a patented feature and it allows you to dial in where the EQ sits. So it can be more of an open, mid, warmer British style tone, which is inherent of things like Marshall Vox and Hi-Wa and Orange and things like that. Or you can tailor it to be more of an American style EQ, where the mids are much tighter, the bass end is more prominent and the highs are more prominent, but you can go anywhere in between. It's a really cool feature and it's patented on most Blackstar products. Then we've got our effects section. So there are 4 effects blocks. We've got pre-effects, modulations, delays and reverbs, and within each block there is a plethora of choice of different types of those effects, which is really easy to dial in. And using these 2 small push and twist encoders, you can dive in and really shape the sound of each stomp box. Try and think of each effect as a little stomp box in front of your amp or behind the amp in the loop. So there's up to 4 parameters per effect. Some of them only have 2, some have 4, but you can really dive in and you've got full access on the small OLED screen to change anything you want. You'll see these days there's a lot of modelers out there that have a big screen on them, and that's cool and it looks great, but we're trying to keep that screen time reduced and essentially giving you more playing time, more fun, more sound. Over here we've got the master volume. We've also got the responses. There's 3 responses, and this is based on Blackstar's patented TVP, True Valve Power. There's EL84, EL34 and 6L6. Now these power amp valves are synonymous with classic amps from rock and roll history. You only have to Google them to see what amps they appeared in, and that'll give you a good clue on dialing in a sound that you're really going to love. Then we got our voicings. So we've got amps 1, amps 2 and acoustic and bass. Overall there's 18 voices. Yes, you heard me right. You can play electric guitar through here, but you can also play bass and acoustic as well, electroacoustic. And I'll do that at the end of the video just to give you an example. Then we have an expression pedal. The expression pedal is assignable to volume. There's 2 types of wah-wah, and also it can be customizable to any parameter on the products. So you could literally dial in a minimum delay in the heel position, and then also a maximum delay in the toe down position. You can really shape what that does, and I'll show you how to do that via the software. We've got our effects blocks on the top here. So here's our pre-effects, modulation, delay, and reverb. And you can switch these in and out as if they were stomp boxes on the floor. So it's really cool. As far as channels and banks, you can store up to 99 patches on here. They come with around about 45 patches that get you going. And we've had some really great feedback on how these sound and how they feel. I've just got back from the NAMM show where the IDX floor was launched, and everybody that tried it, played through it, were generally people that were using really high-end modelers. First of all, they guessed the price was way more than they are, and also the tone was far superior than they ever expected. So really, really great feedback. So on here, you've got bank down, bank up by pressing both of these foot switches simultaneously, and you've got access to 3 patches within each bank. So very, very easy to store as well, and I'll show you that now. But the first tone I'm dialing in, and we started this video off with, is the second patch that comes supplied as a factory setting. It's a great sound. It's just on the edge of breakup tone, but by using a guitar like this, which is in stock at Wildwire, shall I say, it gives me the opportunity to get some thinner sounds with the single coils, and also some slightly more gainy sounds with the humbucker. And I'll show you that again by just spinning through on a really nice semi-overdriven, just on the edge of breakup tone. Now, for those of you with a keen ear, you'll hear a slapback delay on there, and I can just load that out. I can just turn it off. Now it's just reverb, right? I can turn the reverb off, keep it dry. I've also got a pre-effects on there. Now, pre-effects, if you can imagine, are the pedals or stomp boxes that go in the front of your amp. So it can be things like compression, overdrive, fuzz, distortion, and basically boost, like a clean boost. So at the moment, let's just see what's on this particular patch. As I turn it on, it lets me know it's a blues drive effect. So without it, this is the sound of the amp, completely dry. If I go to the humbucker, that's a nice amount of gain, but watch it tip over the edge when I add the boost, essentially the blues drive on top. Essentially giving me a lot more gain to access. The modulation that's currently within this patch is actually a phaser. Now, another thing that's really cool with this particular model on the 3 and what you get is you get freeze functions, which essentially, if you hold down the modulation, the delay, or the reverb, it gives you the functionality of freezing that effect, giving you more of it. So you could basically look at it as being like a more rate with a time-based effect, like a phaser, more depth. And the same for reverb, it just adds more feedback. So if you can check it out, if I just play a very simple open, if I hold the phase down, it increases the rate and the depth. The same with the delay, so I can get some really nice ambient stuff. And you can do do that with reverb as well. It's a lot of fun. Obviously a little easier when it's on the floor and you can do it with your toe. So that's our first sound that we're looking at. It's patch number 2 from stock. Let's just dial in the first patch. This is called Glassy Clean. Again, a beautiful clean tone for this type of guitar. Funky with it, you can get really mellow with it. That second channel is the sound we started off on, right? And this, the third patch within the first bank is called Arena Lead. It's got a really great rock sound with a little bit of delay on there to give you that ambient arena sound. Loads of fun. Now I'm just going to show you how easy it is to dial in a patch of your own. So I'm going to start by jumping up to bank 15, which is where the point that everything is repeated. So the first 15 banks of 3 are patches that Blackstar have put in. So let's just scroll up so I can hold bank up and I can go very quickly up to bank 15. I'm going to go channel 1 of that, and it's a repeat of the Glassy Clean, right? So I'm going to start by altering the sound. So I digressed a little bit earlier, but on here we have 18 voices to choose from. There are 6 on amps 1, 6 on amps 2, and then you've got acoustic and bass and acoustic sim voicings. So amps 1 are based on 6 classic Blackstar tones. So we're there at the moment. So we've got St. James 6L6, we've got Artisan 30, we've got a St. James EL34, we've got a HT Club 50 as we start to get into the gain area. We've got a Series 1 100, and then also we've got a St. James 100, a lot of gain. Now our amps 2, as we scroll down, we've got Ampton Twin, Ampton Ace 30, Ampton Plexi, Ampton 800, Ampton Rec, and finally Ampton 6L6. Again, a lot of gain there. Ampton is based lovingly after where Blackstar are from, Northampton in the UK. And these are our component level models of actual amplifiers that we have at Blackstar HQ. So the guys that are designing the valve and the tube stuff are the guys that are designing this. So they've really gone in depth with those components and really gone to the next level to try and get that sound very, very reminiscent through the IDX floor and the IDX range as a whole. And then finally, we've got Acoustic 1, Acoustic 2, that's for acoustic guitars, electroacoustic. We've got Acoustic Sim for electric guitar, and then we've got 3 for bass. Bass Classic, Bass Modern, and Bass Flat. And we'll show you those near the end. But for now, one of my favourite sounds is the Ampton Twin, and that's on the second lot of voicings. So this is based on a really nice F-style American sound. I'm going to go for a 6L6 on the power amp, which is already there. So there's a reverb already on it. And what else do we have on the pre-effects? We've got a valve boost. So let's lose that and lose the reverb. So we're down to a dry sound. I'm going to increase the level of touch. Even though I've turned the reverb off, I can still hear and feel some ambience there. And the reason for that is you can actually control cab rig via the IDX floor on the unit. You don't need the laptop, which you would need with the combo version. So cab rig is Blackstar's DSP, digital signal processing emulation of a mic'd up cab with incredible detail in a room. So you can change a mic choice, you can change the room ambience, and also the size of the room. So let's look at that. So at the moment, there's no effects on, but I'm feeling something. So, cab rig. We're using a 1x12 virtual cabinet, we're using a ribbon mic, and we're using room, which is on 3. So I'm going to turn the room down to 0. Now it's dry, right? Completely dry. But if I turn that room back up to, let's just go all the way to 5 so we can really hear a difference. It's giving me that virtual sound of an amplifier in the moment, in a room. Now, when you're going through an FR cabinet like the Artist FR from Blackstar or a PA system, you need that because you don't want it to just be dry. So that ambience is really important, especially if you're recording with this and you're using headphones or if you're using in-ear monitors, IEMs. It's really lovely to have that sound where it feels ambient and part of the band. And that's separate to reverb. It's not reverb per se, it's separate to that. So let's go back into cab rig. And I'm going to choose a different cabinet. So we don't want it as a 1x12. I'm feeling a 2x12 open back. That's opened things up a little bit more for me. So now that I'm happy with that, ribbon is great. I'm going to bring room down to about 3.5. So it's just a little something in the mix. Reverb, it's currently on plate, but I'm going to choose spring. And my controls are decay, mix, drip, and tone. So I'm going to turn the tone up to give me more of that high-end sibilance. The drip I'm going to turn up all the way. That gives me that classic spring chamber reverb, reverb tank. Decay, I'm going to choose a higher decay. That's how long the effect lasts for. The mix on 3 is about good, I think. Beautiful. Now, on the pre-effects, I'm going to put a valve boost on there, just to give it that little something extra. So without... with... It allows me to dial my picking back, right? So it's nice and soft. And I can dig in. It just helps me with that touch response feel. It's not giving me any more gain, it's just giving me a bit more level and a bit more punch on the preamp. Lovely. Now if I want to store that sound, it's as simple as this. I'm looking at bank 15 right now. So I can press and hold manual and shift together, which gives me the save option. And then it allows me to choose a place for that. I'm going to choose channel 1 of bank 15, and it's as easy as that. So when I'm scrolling through, I know that when I go there, I've got a really nice Ampton twin, F-style, American 2x12 with a ribbon mic, a little bit of room, a boost on the preamp, and a nice spring reverb tank. Right, perfect. So next up, I'd like to save a really gnarly, big lead sound, but ambient, without being too overpowering in the ambient side of things. So, one of my favourite sounds on here is On the Edge of Breakup, St. James EL34. Now you'll notice I haven't changed any channels or anything yet. I've just changed voicings. So I've gone to Amps 1, I've gone to Crunch, which is the St. James EL34. Let's hear it off the cuff, take the effects off. So that's a little bit too roomy for me now. I want it drier. So I'm going to go back into cab rig. I'm going to bring the room reflection down to like 1.5. That's better. Yeah, much drier. 212, still good. Ribbon, still good. One of my favourite sorts of mics. Now back to the amp itself, I'm going to check it out. Now on the OLED display, you'll see a little nodule where the actual setting is. So I need to scroll through that setting to alter it. Low gain. High gain on that amp. Now I want a lot of gain there on the amp, so try and imagine I'm into a single channel, single-ended amp that's cranked, right? So I'm going to change my power amp response to 84. Different sound altogether to 34. Nice, that's about where I want this. It's a nice British feel. ISF, it's all the way on the American side at the moment, so I'm going to go to the UK just past noon. A little darker even still. So now on the pre-effects, I'm going to look at let's have a look at the choices. Valve boost, red drive, TS drive, based on a very classic green stomp box, right? So I'm going to click into that. Drive, level, and tone. So tone I'm going to put up to about halfway. Drive I'm going to bring down just slightly. Level around about 6 is good. Let's check it out. I'm going to push the drive because I want it to sustain a little more. So now you can hear a little bit of noise, right? It's a nice amplifier, but on the edge of breakup with an overdrive on top. So very naturally, I'm getting a bit of hiss there. Now, if you love that and you want to play with dynamics on the volume part of the guitar, you can. If I want to keep it clean, it's as simple as just adding a little bit of gate. So I can press shift and I can go to my gate control, which is currently off. I can take out that hiss just very minutely on the gate. Right. It still allows me to back up on my volume. But nice and quiet. Cranked. Great, right? Really nice and easy. But now I want to add some ambience. We talked about ambience, didn't we? So I'm going to go to, we've got choices of delay. We've got analog, digital, tape echo, multi-delay, shimmer. I'm going to go to shimmer. I'm going to add a fair bit of mix. Feedback we want quite long. Shimmer quite high on the level. Time around about 429 milliseconds. That's cool. You can change that to BPM in the settings if you so wish, if you're a bit of a delay nerd. That might be too much though. It's too much. So now I'm going to look at feedback and mix, bring the mix right down so we're not overpowering our sound. Feedback's too much now. So the mix is right, feedback down to 6. Getting down a touch more. Let's try 5. Let's go down to 3, see if that makes a bigger difference. 3.0. That's cool. So it's not overpowering my sound. Still in the mix, right? I'm loving that. Again, let's just go a little down on the feedback and a little bit down on the mix. And then as far as reverb goes, we've got a choice of hall, plate, spring, chamber, cathedral. Cathedral is where it's at for decay. So I'm going to go in there, size quite big, mixed again down to like 1.5, something small. Tone 5.7, wide is on as well as a choice there. Let's check it out. Probably a bit too much level there, so let's go to the mix. 0.2. It's not there in the mix, so 0.5. That's cool, right? So we've got some shimmer in that distance. We've got a really nice cathedral style reverb. What that allows me to do is just bring up some drone notes. Easy. Now remember, we're still on bank 15, patch 1. I know this is a lot to take in, but this shows you how easy it is. I want to store that sound now to bank 15, but maybe patch 2. So I don't want to overwrite what I've already got, but I have already because I've been playing around with it and changing it. But when I press save, hold, channel 2 of that bank. So now I've got my 2 sounds that I'm happy with, right? My American. And my big. Right? Nice and easy. Now, regarding the expression pedal, you have a choice over volume, wah, and custom. You can change that on the fly, but you can't deep dive. That's where the laptop comes in. All right. So this is the Architect software. It's available for Mac or PC. It's a free download from the Blackstar website, blackstaramps.com, and you can see some real nice individual controllability with this. You can control everything that you can on the unit physically, and you can store your patches locally on your machine, or you can upload them to a special community where you can download and share patches, which is really, really cool. So I can see all of my patches that come as stock. So what I want to do now is I want to look at the expression pedal. Like if I click on the drop down menu, I've got a couple of choices of wah. I've got classic and modern. So let's click on classic, right? So a bit difficult when it's not on the floor, but like most expression style wah-wahs, you need to click on the toe to access the effect, right? Click on the toe to turn it off. Now if I want to go for modern wah, it's going to sound a little different and feel a little different. Right? So that's something to look at. You know, you've got 2 choices of wah. If we go to volume, we can have the volume pre or post. What that means is it can look at the pre-volume, which is your channel volume physically located on the unit, or post, which is your master. Two very different things. Custom parameters, this is where it gets fun. We've got amp, pre-effects, modulation, delay, reverb. So for example, if I go to reverb, we can change the size, the mix, the tone, just by the expression pedal. We can program that in within our patch. If we go to delay, mix, feedback, time, shimmer. If we go to modulation, rate, depth, pre-effects, drive, level, tone, really cool. So if we go to drive, for example, on this particular patch, which has got a lot of gain, Right? So really simple to program and store. That's what the software will give you. So you don't necessarily need it, but if you want a deep dive with customizable expression, you're going to need it on your Mac or your PC. So very, very cool. And it gives you LED control over whether it's on or off by being a white or a red LED. Red LED off, white on. So you can physically see what's happening on the unit on the floor. So that's a couple of presets that I've put in with the electric guitar. And to finish off, let's look at bass and acoustic. Okay, so magically, I've got a nice bass guitar with me. It's a American Professional Classic Precision in stock at Wildwire. Beautiful guitar. And for the keen eye, I've been using the Airwire from Blackstar, which is the wireless system, just to make life a little easier and less clutter. So with bass, there are 3 bass voices: modern, classic and flat. You also have within cab rig the choice of a 2x10 or a 410 cabinet. So you can access all that as well. Now we're using the Artist FR cab for this demo. Now ideally, I wouldn't say if you were a pro bass player this would be the route you'd go, but what you have to try and appreciate is the Artist FR is basically a PA system within a guitar cabinet looking product. All right, that's what flat response full range means. But typically, if you're a bassist that uses IEMs, in-ears, and you go direct, and you're in a function band or you're in a local band and you want to go direct, the IDX floor 1, 2, and 3 are really, really cool options. And we're going to be developing a lot more in the bass effects side of them as well. So for this patch that I've already pre-dialed in, here's one I made earlier. What I'm using is the bass classic voicing, and I've also got a bit of compression on there as well, called Red Squash. We can kind of guess what that is from a great brand called MXR. But with a pick, right, so there's some nice compression there. If I was playing fingerstyle, so just a nice, great bass sound. We've got a little bit of room on there, and it's a 410 that I've chosen. If I take the compression off, very simple. So if we change voices, we can look at bass classic, bass modern, and then bass flat. Right. So a lot of change there in the tonality. Right, just to get the point across, great for bass, and you can really dive in with some effects and use it as part of your pedal board, part of your rig, with maybe some pre and post effects on the board as well. Let's try acoustic. So for this next patch that I've already pre-dialed in to save a bit of time, we've used one of the acoustic voices. So we've used acoustic 2. A little bit more compression there naturally and a bit brighter. We've got this really lovely Taylor 314 CE, which is in stock at Wildwire right now to use as this demo. I've made it quite a wet sound. I do love a lot of reverb with acoustics. So let's check it out, see how it feels. And this is going through the Artist FR cab. Let's go. So a wonderful opportunity with this product. The IDX floor is for electric guitar, bass and acoustic. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned some stuff on how to dial sounds in and use the software. But it's a really easy unit. The price is amazing on all three, and they're in stock now at Wildwire. Thank you so much for your time. I've been Steve at Blackstar. See you again.